Hey, what's going on YouTube? It is GeneralTarheel, your coach of the Charizards, bringing you the APA Season 3 Week 8 battle versus Coach CrimsonCBAD and the Detroit Steelwings. Coming to Week 8, we did unfortunately get a loss last week against the St. Louis Rampardos, coached by aDrive, but it was a very close battle. Make sure to check it out if you haven't already. It was a pretty good one in my opinion. So we're trying to break this losing streak coming into Week 8 facing Crimson, and I really hope we can do it. I'm kind of positive about the team that we brought. Make sure to check out the team builder to make sure to see what I am bringing and why, and what I expected my opponent to bring. But as a quick overview, I did bring a SD Cobalion with Stone Edge Iron Head, Close Combat, and with the Rocky MZ. And then I had a bulky, speedy Lando T with the Pablo Berry, with Earthquake, U-Turn, Stealth Rock, Stone Edge. I had a mixed offensive Greninja holding the Expert Belt with Low Kick, Hidden Power, Electric, Hydro Pump, and Ice Beam. Then I had a defensive Tox Specs with the Shucka Berry with Haze, Scald, Recover, and Icy Wind. A Sylvester Electros with Drain Punch, Wild Charge, U-Turn, and Fire Punch. And then a bulky, modest Togekiss with Berry with Defog, Roost, Aura Sphere, and Air Slash. So, coming into this match, we do see the Pokemon he decided to bring being Mega Tyranitar, Excadrill, Latios, Gyarados, Galvantula, and Aromatisse. It is the exact 6 I predicted, except instead of Golbat, he decided Aromatisse once again, so he must have a true love for Aromatisse to be bringing it every single week. I guess Wish Protect is pretty nice. Things I have to watch out for at the beginning of this match is, of course, whether or not this is Sticky Web's Galvantula. Of course, I'm going to assume it is. You should always assume it is, and just watch out for it. If it is just purely offensive, that's going to be much easier to deal with because I don't have to try and get a defog off with my Togekiss. As for Stealth Rock setters, it has to be in his like a Tyranitar, because that's got to be just a fully offensive Sand Excadrill. I need to see whether that is a bulkier offensive D-Dance Gyarados. Excuse me. And I need to see whether or not that's a Z-move on Lottie or some other kind of shenanigans. So when starting this battle, I really just wanted to lead my Electros. It kind of had the best matchup versus his entire team, so that was my reasoning behind my lead. Because if he leads Gyarados, that is a free momentum with U-Turn right there. Because I do threaten him with Wild Charge. If he does lead the Mega Tyranitar, that's just a free Drain Punch, so I can get a lot of damage off on that thing. I wouldn't care if it went for Stone Edge versus me, because I'd be getting more health back. Galvantula, I can just go for Fire Punch versus that thing, and then you turn out the second turn. So on and so forth. It was just a great matchup versus his team. So he does decide to leave with the Gyarados with the Intimidate. Showing that he is Intimidate makes me believe a little bit more that he's more of a bulky Gyarados, so that does benefit me a little bit better here. So right here, I'm just going to opt to go for the U-turn. There's no reason I shouldn't. He's not going to stay in here. Gyarados would drop down so easy. So as I go for the U-turn on this Tyranitar before Mega, it does show that it's got a little bit of defense investment. So it's like HP with defense. So I'm just going to right into Cobalion here. Surprisingly, he stays in. This is actually really surprising. I just decided to go for a Swords Dance. It was my best play. He has no switches into Cobalion. So going for the Swords Dance right here is free. It's just free. But he decides to stay in right here as I go for the Swords Dance, and he opted just to get up his hazards. He wanted to go ahead and get up his Stealth Rocks. I'm perfectly fine with that. They don't really hinder me too much, and at one point I can go for a defog with Togekiss versus certain Pokemon on his team, such as this Mega Tyranitar. So he'll make a withdrawal now, and I'm just going for the Iron Head. It hits everything on his team. There's no reason for me not to. Close Combat will do a little bit more, yes, but in case he went into Latios, I wanted to make sure I didn't get the defense and Spidef drops, so I'll go for the Iron Head. Gyarados gets buffed by the Storm and whatnot. Now right here, I do knock it out with Stone Edge. I was really debating whether or not I wanted to use Continental Crush here or just use Stone Edge, because it does depend on the accuracy. Basically, I thought I'm going to live even an Earthquake from this Gyarados, so I'm just going to go for Stone Edge, because +1 Continental Crush will knock out any Latios set for me, so I want to make sure I can keep that in the back. But I'm going to switch out here versus Latios, since he decided not to go Excadrill first. It kind of has me worry about a Psychic Z set. But he opts just to go for Draco Meteor. That was pretty brave of Crimson, considering Togekiss is technically an ideal switch-in. That's the only reason I went into Granite, because I was assuming you would just predict a Togekiss switch. And Psychic was his safest play because if I just went for the Continental Crush there, his Latios was dead. But assuming he went for the hard Draco, it makes me assume that he is choiced. So I'm just going to go right into Cobalion here, and even because he has a special attack drop now, he's got to switch out. So this is just another free SD for my Cobalion. There's no reason for me not to click it. Because it's too risky for him to go hard Excadrill right there, mainly because his Sand would have ended. So I'm just going to SD and I'm going to go for Iron Head, and this Aromatisse is gone just like that. Very easy to deal with that. There's no way that crit mattered. As he will go back into Latios, I'm still scared of this thing being like Psychic Z, even though I feel like there's a good chance that it isn't. So I still just have to watch out for it. This time around I will go into Togekiss, as he just opts to drop another Draco Meteor. Don't know why he didn't click Psychic that time around, considering I don't have a immunity anymore since Grunt is gone. But he will just opt to go into his Mega Tyranitar here, and I do probably predict it, as I do opt to go for the Aura Sphere with my Togekiss. And we will do a very solid chunk to this monster, bringing it down to around 25%. Now I was expecting him to switch out here, and I was assuming the Galvantula would come in, but at the same time I just opted to click Aura Sphere, because I'd still be getting a little chip off of this Galvantula, so I was like, I felt like it wasn't that bad. And this kind of would also let me show if he came in here whether or not he has Sticky Webs, because he would go for it versus Togekiss. There's really no reason for him not to. So as he tries to make a double here, he will go into his Latios, probably predicting the Electros, I assume. But I just opted to Electros or the Lando. I just opted to go for the Defog in case he had to go for Sticky Webs. And now Stealth Rocks are gone from my side of the field, which is very important. And both Pokemon will just get buffed by the Sandstorm right here. So I'm just going to go right into Electros, because I know this thing is just special attacking. Don't really want to risk anything else, as he does show the Ice Beam. So just based off of this, I'm just kind of assuming that he's choiced at this point. I'm assuming he's choice Scarf for Mega Charizard X, which I feel like is a little bit of overprep between Gyarados, potential Sticky Webs, Sand Excadrill, and stuff like that. But I will just go for the U-turn versus Latios. Unfortunately, we get a crit on that Galvantula. That's unfortunate for him. Doesn't matter too much, but I'm just going to go into Togekiss here. I'm making the same play. This was a misplay though, however, because if he does just decide to kill me and he still has Sticky Webs, then I'm forced to go into Cobalion, and it just forces the same speed tie I could have risked before. So this was definitely a misplay on my part. I basically just sacked my Togekiss. It wasn't the clever play. So right here, I just decided instead of risking the speed tie with Cobalion, I'd rather just go Electros. If he has Sticky Webs, I'll just deal with it. As bad as that might be, my Lando's still at full, so I can definitely just make do versus his team. Right here, I should have 1,000,000% clicked Wild Charge. Wild Charge killed Galvantula from where it was at. The only reason I didn't click Wild Charge is I really didn't want the just the random 6% recoil I was going to take. But that's not worth him switching and not getting knocked out by a move. So that was definitely a misplay on my part, because this Tyranitar would have been down. He would have been forced to go into something else on his team, and then I would have been able to switch out and everything. But now I just go into Toxapex versus the Mega Tyranitar. He does get the defense drop versus me, but I'm still staying in because I do have the Shucca Berry. He goes for the Ice Beam there, predicting Lando on the Earthquake switch in. But I will not make that play. There's no reason for me to switch out since I do still live after my Shucca Berry. And I'm going to go for the Scald. We do not knock out the Mega Tyranitar, but we will take it down with Burn. So Mega Tyranitar will go down this turn. And now I'm just going to expect his Excadrill to come out, which it does. This thing is still a little bit threatening. I could just have went into Lando here, but I really felt no need. Because it's like, I mean, my Toxapex can still put in work if I let it survive, but at the same time, I don't really feel like it's needed. So I'm just going to go for the Haze, make sure he doesn't set up versus me and stuff like that. So as he just goes for the Side Shock, he will knock out my Toxapex. I'm perfectly fine with this. I lose nothing, really. because it's not, even though I would have lived an Earthquake from Excadrill and switch in, I still would rather have not risked it. Excuse me. So I'm going to go in Cobalion right here, as he will just be going for Side Shock. This does make me assume that he's locked into it, because he would definitely want to use a special move versus Cobalion instead. I'm just going to go for the Iron Head the first turn. Go ahead and scout the damage. Now there is a chance based off that damage that this does not kill. It's basically just a very min roll. So I'm just going to go ahead and opt to go for my Continental Crush. There's really no reason in me going for it. Basically I don't need to use it for the rest of his mons, being Excadrill and what's the other mon? Whatever. Excadrill and Galvantula. Yeah, so I don't really need it for either of those because Galvantula is really low and Excadrill, of course, it wouldn't do anything to. So I'm just going to go for the Continental Crush and we'll be knocking out this Latios. Cobalion picking up another kill. Getting 3 kills so far this match, putting in work for GeneralTarheel. And then he will just opt to go into his Galvantula here. I'm going to make sure I can save this for Excadrill just in case, having another backup. And I'm just going to go right into my Electros here. No reason for me not to. Perfectly good counter here. And this is where I kind of make like another misplay that just only cost a differential. Really. He will have to go for Spiderweb, which is interesting. I guess it's just to try and trap some of my bulky Pokemon, mainly Electros. But if I went for U-turn there, I knocked out Electros 1,000,000%. And if he switched out anything onto Excadrill, Lando came in and got a kill. So see, that was the mistake here, and I still have the option here to go for the U-turn and save my differential as he goes for the Life Orb return, but I have to go for the Drain Punch instead, so now I am actually trapped. I can't just switch out the following turn. Almost actually knocking out the Excadrill because we got another crit. Of course, it didn't matter because the next turn he will still pick up the kill with the next return. It's just unfortunate I decided to play like this and ruin my differential. Of course, it wouldn't have only given me 1, but differential definitely matters coming into these last few weeks because it's getting really close as we approach divisional matches and stuff like that. But I could have went in the Lando here and gave it the kill because it is in the MVP race, and it probably would have been smarter. It would be number 2 overall at this point in the MVP tracker. But I wanted to give it to Cobalion just because it put in so much work this game. It deserved that 4th kill for sure. So luckily for our Week 8 match, we finally pick up a win and end our losing streak. We win 2-0 against CrimsonCBAD and the Detroit Steelwings. GG to my man Crimson. He played very well. Solid prediction, like with the Latios on the Greninja and stuff like that. He had a pretty scary team. Sand is always scary, but luckily we pulled through with that. I did make a few misplays at points in this match, so I wasn't completely happy about the way I performed, but I was just happy that we picked up the W and ended the streak, and hopefully we can continue a win streak for the remainder of the season, because 9-3 is good. I don't want any 8-4 shit, nothing like that. Like, I'm trying to keep it 9-3 from here on out, so yeah, that'll be it from me this week, guys, with APA. So luckily we picked up that W. Make sure to check out Crimson's point of view if you haven't already, even though most of you guys are probably coming from his channel, so I do appreciate it if you do. Make sure to leave a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Make sure to check out every other coach for this week's battle. But that'll be it from me this week. Make sure to check out my P4G Next Gen battle if you haven't already. That'll be it, guys. Sub, like, share, deuces.